Krishna, Sundari, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada on behalf of everyone who has joined this meeting, this Sangha, and also who will join later on, and maybe those who will watch over YouTube. It's always a great, great honor to have your association every Monday, and we don't take it for granted. We really relish your association and your wisdom and reflections and realizations. Always looking forward to Monday evening. So thank you so much.
And stories, and the beautiful stories.
Hare Krishna. It's my pleasure and my honor to be in your association. Have you done the Mangal Charan?
No, Mataji. We have just started.
Okay.
Would anyone like in the class like to?
I can do the Mangala Charan. I can do that. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mother Kirtida. So, Murari Prabhu has started sharing the screen. Then we can read today's verse. We'll do the same way we always do. I'll do the Sanskrit. Then another devotee will volunteer to do the translation. And because the purport is also long, 2 devotees or even 1 devotee can do it themselves. Okay, so we are on Canto 3, Status Quo, still on chapter 15, Description of the Kingdom of God, verse 31 today. Tavyam mishatsva nimisheshu nishidhyamanaha Svarha tamahya pihari pratihara pabhyam Uchu suritamari rikshita pangaishat Kamanujena sahasata upaprutakshaha. Okay, now 1 devotee can do the translation and another the purport, or even 2.
Hare Krishna, I can do the translation.
Yes, Mataji.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When the Kumaras, although by far the fittest persons, were thus forbidden entrance by the two chief doorkeepers of Sri Hari, while other divinities looked on, their eyes suddenly turned red because of the anger due to their great eagerness to see their most beloved master, Sri Hari, the personality of Godhead. I can start with the purport and then I'll read the first paragraph and then other devotee can continue.
Go
Purport.
ahead.
According to the Vedic system, a sannyasi, a person in the renounced order of life, is dressed in saffron-colored garments. This saffron dress is practically a passport for the mendicant and sannyasi to go anywhere. The sannyasi's duty is to enlighten people in Krishna consciousness. Those in the renounced order of life have no other business but preaching the glories and supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Vedic sociological conception is that a sannyasi should not be restricted. He is allowed to go anywhere and everywhere he wants, and he is not refused any gifts he might demand from a householder. The four Kumaras came to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana. The word Shruntama, best of all friends, Shurtama, best of all friends, is important. As Lord Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, he is the best friend of all living entities. Shrudam Sarva Bhutanam. No one can be greater well-wisher friend to any living entity than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is so kindly disposed towards everyone that in spite of our completely forgetting our relationship with the Supreme Lord, he comes himself, sometimes personally, as Lord Krishna appeared on this earth, and sometimes as his devotee, as did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and sometimes he sends his bona fide devotees to reclaim all the fallen souls. Therefore, he is the greatest well-wishing friend of everyone, and the Kumaras wanted to see him. The doorkeepers should have known that the four sages had no other business, and therefore to restrict them from entering the palace was not apt.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. The last paragraph. Okay, last two paragraphs.
Is there a volunteer? Yes, Murli Gopal, continue.
In this verse, younger brother of desire suddenly appeared in person when the sages were forbidden to see their most beloved personality of Godhead. The younger brother of desire is anger. If one's desire is not fulfilled, the younger brother anger follows. Here, we can mark that even great saintly persons, like the four Kumaras, were also angry. But they were not angry for their personal interests. They were angry because they were forbidden to enter the palace to see the personality of Godhead. Therefore, the theory that in the perfectional stage one should not have anger is not supported in this verse. Anger will continue even in the liberated stage. These four mendicant brothers, the Kumaras, were considered liberated persons, but still they were angry because they were restricted in their service to the Lord. The difference between anger of an ordinary person and that and of a liberated person is that an ordinary person becomes angry because his sense desires are not being fulfilled. Whereas a liberated person like the Kumaras become angry when restricted in the discharge of duties for serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Peter, are you able to finish the last verse? Hare Krishna. I feel like you wanted to talk. I can continue. Okay, yes. Yes, thank you.
You are muted.
Maybe he's saying Murli Gopal continue.
Okay, let me just continue. In the previous verse, it is clearly mentioned that the Kumaras were liberated persons. Viditma Tattva means one who understands the truth of self-realization. One who does not understand the truth of self-realization is called ignorant, but one who understands the self, the super self, their interrelation and activities in self-realization is called Vidyatma Tattva. Although the Kumaras were already liberated persons, they nevertheless became angry. This point is very important because becoming liberated does not necessitate losing one's sensual activities. Sense activities continue even in the liberated stage. The difference is, however, that sense activities in liberation are accepted only in connection with Krishna consciousness, whereas sense activities in conditioned stage are enacted for personal self-gratification. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Murli Gopal Prabhu, for nicely finishing the reading of the purport. So today, before we begin, allow me to first of all offer obeisances to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Agyana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Madeka Bandhu Matsangin Madguru Man Mahadana Manishtaraka Madhbhagya Madananda Namostute Asadu Sadutarayin Atini Chachatakara Anahun Chakarachinvam Premnari Kantayo Suram. I first of all offer my obeisances unto the lotus feet of my most supremely merciful spiritual master, and to his spiritual master, and to Srila Prabhupada, and all the acharyas in our line of Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas, and I seek their blessings that I can be a useful instrument in their service. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto all of you, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, who are gathered here in today's Srimad Bhagavatam class, and I seek your mercy and blessings that our discussion today may help us to grow in Krishna consciousness and purify us. So we are still hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam how Brahmaji is describing to the demigods. Because after the pregnancy of Diti, since she was carrying in her womb two very dangerous demons, the world became dark. The sun and the moon, their power became useless. So there was darkness all over, even in the heavenly kingdom. So they went and complained to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji began by explaining to them how or who are these personalities that are in the womb of Diti. They are not ordinary personalities, and he begins by a beautiful description of the spiritual world. I'm sure you have heard about it, hence the title for this chapter. And it is said that the four Kumaras, who are the four Kumaras? Anyone remembers their names?
Sanata,
Sanaka,
Sanandan,
Sanandana,
Sanaka,
Sanaka,
Sanandana,
Sanandana,
the other two.
Sanatana.
Something. Sanatana.
One more is remaining. And Sanat, the four Kumaras.
Sanat.
Actually, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat, the four Kumaras. We should know this personality, we should know their names. It's important we know who we are hearing about. So, they are sages, they are Gyanis actually. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he tells Arjuna that there are 4 types of people who will never approach me. And at the same time, there are 4 types of people who approach me. And of the 4 types of people who approach me, Chaturveda Bhajate Mam, Ananya, Gyana Sukriti Nwarjuna, Arto Jigyasur Artarti, Gyani Cha Bharatar Shaba. That 4 types of people approach me. Number 1, those who are artha, those who are distressed. Sorry, artha, those who want money. I want money, big bank balance, Mercedes Benz, nice M-Pesa messages should come flowing. That I just keep my phone on the charge, I should not remove it from there. And then there are those who are very distressed, they have so many problems, they also approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And these actually are the majority. Then there is a Jigyasu, one who is inquisitive. He wants to know, does God really exist? Where do I come from? And number 4 is a Gyani, one who wants to know things as they are, or who is really searching for. Yes, I agree there's some absolute truth, but who is that absolute truth? I want to see him. So these 4, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat, and Sanandana, were in that category of Gyanis. And Krishna goes on to tell Arjuna of these 4 personalities. The Gyani is the best. Tesham Gyani Nitya Yukta, Eka Bhaktir Visheshyate. He is the best. And then because from the stage of Gyani, he'll come to the stage of Bhakti. He'll perform devotional service and he'll become very dear to me and I'll become very dear to him. So the Kumaras, they were Gyanis. They had studied in vast the Vedic knowledge and they had renounced the world and they had some mystic power that they decided they are not going to become so big. They are going to remain young, 5 years of age. And when they went to Vaikunta, the beautiful Vaikunta that has been described by Brahmaji with Chintamani and golden gates with diamonds, all that. They didn't go there being dressed, very nicely. Although Prabhupada in the purport says that sannyasi, he has his passport, which is a saffron dress. These 4 Kumaras did not even have a saffron dhoti and kurta and danda. No. Some sannyasis, they take sannyas, especially Mayavadi sannyasis, they don't wear any cloth. And especially for the Kumaras, since they chose to remain enlightened young children, self-realized young children, they didn't need any dress. I have seen in the villages of Bengal, in Mayapur, children, even girls, they are not put any, especially in the summer, they don't wear any dress. And it's very normal, they roam around naked. In the picture that was sent to the Srimad Bhagavatam class today, I saw they had put a coffin. It's good because you can't just put a picture of a naked child today. We have predators and people have such sick mentality in today's age. But in the villages in India until today, forget when the Kumaras were there, until today, you will find that purity, that a child can be roaming around and the mother without care, even the child without care. So this is how the Kumaras were roaming around and they were looking for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and they were very eager to see him, that they went to Vaikunta, closed over the 6 gates. Then when they came to the 7th gate, they found Jai and Vijay there, 2 guards, and they put their staff. And these 2 guards, they have Sarupya. Sarupya is having the same features, the same body form as the Lord. They look like Narayan himself. They hold the same instruments, Gada, Padma, the crab, the lotus, the chakra, all those weapons, they were holding them. So they stopped them. Where are you going? And in today's verse, we are hearing that the Kumaras, the 4 of them, they became very angry. The younger brother of lust, Kama Anunjana, the younger brother of lust became manifest. And we will hear in the next verse what happened is that they cast the 4 Kumaras. But they did not become angry with the Kumaras because they were stopped from entering Vaikunta. They did not become angry with the 2 brothers, Jai and Vijay, for their own sake. They became angry because their eagerness, their enthusiasm, utsaha, for seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead was checked. This was the reason for their anger. And so Prabhupada is saying in the last paragraph of the purport that although they are very enlightened, Vidithatma, they are self-realized. They know who they are. They know who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They know the material world, and they know the relationship between themselves and the Lord and the world, and the interconnection. This is called self-realization. And the beginning of this knowledge is called Sambandha Gyan, knowledge of our relationship. They knew this. Still, they became angry. But Prabhupada is saying this anger is not like the anger of the ordinary person. This is transcendental anger. Sometimes people, when they hear Prabhupada lectures and they read his books and they see him saying rascals, describing scientists as rascals, they are like, what type of sadhu speaks like this? What type of sadhu calls people rascal, becomes so angry? A sadhu should be controlled. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we will come there. We are already on the 3rd canto, chapter 25, Glories of Devotional Service. I think it's around 2021, Sadhu Tattva, where Sadhu Tattva begins, where Kapila Dev begins describing the qualities of a sadhu or a saintly liberated person to his mother Devauti. He says that a sadhu is Titikshasva Karunika Surida Sarva Dehinam Ajata Shatra Vasanta Sada Vasadu Bhushanam. A saintly person, his qualities are that he is titikshava, he is very tolerant. He is karunika, merciful. Ajata shatrava, he does not have enemies. Who does not have enemies in this material world? Sadhus do not have enemies. He is sarva dehina, he wishes everyone, he is a well-wisher of everyone. Srila Prabhupada always signed his letters to his disciples, your ever well-wisher. And he is Shanta, peaceful. He does not become disturbed whether there is happiness or there is distress. And he is Sadhava, he is Sadhu Bhushana. He is endowed with all qualities, all sublime qualities. So some people, they ask Prabhupada, he is Sadhu? He's calling others rascal everywhere in his books, rascal, rascal, rascal. What type of a sadhu is this? And sometimes Prabhupada would get angry also. Like one devotee was describing in Australia, the first initiation ceremony Prabhupada was conducting in the temple. So there were no yajman, the priest to do the yagya. So Prabhupada had to do it himself. And the devotees were so green. They did not know. They had never seen a yagya. They didn't know what was needed. So Prabhupada was directing them. They'll need sesame seeds. They'll need, an iron pot to make the fire, everything. And he told them to bring fruits also. So when everything is ready and he's sitting, he's like, where are the fruits? And one of the devotees says they are being cut. The devotees thought that they need to cut the fruits. They thought that maybe Prabhupada wants to distribute them for prasad, but they did not know the whole fruits need to be there, kept around the Yagya Kund for auspiciousness. So Prabhupada was looking at the time and it's overwhelming. And he became so angry. He's like, who told them to cut the fruits? I did not give instruction like that. And you know, when a pure devotee shouts, or then there's so much tension in the room. Then one devotee just told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, why are you so angry? Chant Hare Krishna. Oh, immediately Prabhupada cooled down. He took his bead bag and he began chanting. So pure devotees or liberated personalities, they do express anger, but their anger is different from our anger. As ordinary living entities, if someone does something wrong to you like this, oh, you become angry. Even next year, you remember. This devotee, you have to, or you all should be very careful. They did this and this. We keep such a long list. Usually in the material world, it's very easy to remember all the bad things people have done to us and forget even one good thing. Someone may have done 100 good things to you, and then they do, the minute the day they do a mistake, that mistake will be remembered more than all the good things that they have done. That is the nature of the material world. But sadhus, it's opposite. They see the good. They are like bees. They see the honey. They see the nectar. They don't look at the thorns in the flowers. So we should look up to sadhus. See, Prabhupada, he was angry. Immediately a devotee said, chant Hare Krishna. You don't instruct the guru, but followed. He followed. So he's teaching difference between transcendental anger and material anger. In the nectar of instruction, Rupa Goswami says that one who wants to instruct the whole world, one who wants to become a guru, should control all his senses, beginning with the mouth, beginning with the tongue. Vacho vegam manasakruta vegam, jiva vegam udarupasta vegam, itan veganyo vishahita dira, sarvam api mam pritivim sasishyat. If you want to instruct the whole world, then you should control your speech, you should control anger, and you should control the demands of your mind. Then you should control your belly, you should control your tongue, belly, and genitals. If you can control these 6 items, then the whole world will fall at your feet for instruction. So, but at the same time, in the purport to the same verse, Prabhupada says, all these qualities, it's not that we throw them out, these sensual qualities, because we cannot deny them. Anger is a feeling, it comes. We must acknowledge when we feel angry. We must acknowledge that, oh, we are feeling this. Otherwise, we will not know how to control it. So, he says that a devotee, he should know how to dovetail these negative feelings and use them in the service for Krishna. And he gives an example of Hanuman. Hanuman, beloved servant of Lord Ram, when he went to Lanka, he became very angry that he put the entire Lanka on fire. And using his anger, he was able to fight and get back Mother Sita, of course, with the help of others. Of course, we cannot imitate Hanuman. The other thing he says that what we can do is that devotees, when negative things happen to them, they should never get angry. But should the same thing, should a devotee be blaspheming your guru or other devotees or the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, then there a devotee has the right to exercise anger. So this is where the devotee now exercises anger, the younger brother of lust. I'm going to tell you why anger is considered the younger brother of lust. So anger can only be used by a devotee by defending another devotee. But if you feel it will create more problems, then it is described that you should leave from there. Suppose someone is blaspheming Krishna or blaspheming your guru or a senior devotee, a qualified advanced devotee. Then if you cannot defeat them, you should go away from there. Get angry and go away from there and desist from the association. Because this is an inimical personality. Keep your distance. Say Hare Krishna from far and pay obeisances from far. So this is how devotees should use anger. Don't go burning places.
Hare Krishna, is it my video or we have lost Mataji?
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Let's wait.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We briefly lost you, Mataji.
Sorry,
It's okay.
devotees, I lost my connection for a while, all of a sudden. Yeah.
We assure you that we were not angry. We were patiently waiting.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for patiently waiting. Yeah. So I was going on to explain why here it is being said that the anger is the younger brother of lust. Because in the way the Bhagavatam is written in very expert way. Every time I read or study the Bhagavatam, I always find it so expert because Vyasadeva has put it in such a way that it will link you to other scriptures. Now you see here, why is it being described as the younger brother of lust? Then it tells you need to go to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Those who have access, they can open so that they don't think I'm cheating them. Chapter 2, verse 62 to 63. These two verses, they explain the process of fall down. It's called steps to falling down. From 62, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangaste Shupajayate Sangat Sajayate Kama Kamat Krodha Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Samoha Samohat Smriti Vibrama Smriti Brahmashar Buddhi Nashu Buddhi Nashat Pranashiti. Yeah. Yeah, here is 62. Murari Prabhu is even sharing it with you. How does the process of fall down start? And here we are actually hearing the fall down of the two brothers, Jai and Vijay. How it happened. It starts by Dhyayato Vishayan, by contemplating the objects of the senses. You see a nice car and you're like, I want that one. And then you can start contemplating about it. Oh, that car was very nice. And then from there you develop karma, lust. Yes, I must have it, and I must have it. Lust is not only between sexual relationships. Lust is when you have a negative, or rather a dirty attachment for something that is not going to even last. And then from there, anger arises. From lust, anger comes. So that's why here Vyasadeva, because he's the one who compiled, or rather Brahmaji is telling the demigods that in the Kumaras arose the younger brother of lust, which is anger. Kamat Krodho Bijayate. Because from anger, from lust is anger usually follows. For ordinary anger in the material world, it brings lust. Because then when you desire to have your Mercedes Benz or whichever house or whatever you want is not fulfilled, then you become angry. And even if it is fulfilled, then it will not last very long. So you become angry also. Because then you have to put so much measures into protecting what you have gotten. And that can bring about very frustrating issues. For example, you have to get an insurance for your car, and the process is not that easy. Just giving an example. And then going on, like 63, from anger, what happens? From anger, complete delusion arises. You become very bewildered. I just wanted to have that Mercedes Benz. Why can't I have it? You forget that there is an Ishavasya principle. Ishopanishad tells us there is quota for everyone in this material world. Everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in this material world, He has given each and everyone their quota, and they should be satisfied with that and nothing more. They should not desire for more, they should be satisfied with that, and then they can be happy in this world. But anger will kick out all the satisfaction. And then you become deluded, delusion. I deserve it. And when you become deluded, then your memory becomes bewildered, samohat, smriti vibrama. You even forget you have money in the bank. You don't have enough money to buy that car, and you lose your intelligence. That yeah, there is a plan. I have made plans for my finances, and then you fall down. I'm just giving a very easy material example. This process of fall down, it's the same, whether it's material desires or up to the level of spiritual desires for gyanis, even as high as people in bhakti themselves. This is the same process of fall down, from contemplating on the senses all the way to falling down by losing your intelligence. And anger comes at step number 2. Lust, then anger, or rather than 3. Because first it's contemplation. And then number 2, lust. Then from lust, the brother comes, anger, that we are being told. So it is advised that if you see something and you get attracted to it, immediately we know we have the super soul. Especially for devotees who chant, the super soul is very active. And this will not be good for me. Try your best not to contemplate on it, because it said our eyes do not have curtains. So we are not going to see. We are not going to deny ourselves from seeing. We are not going to deny ourselves from sensory activities, like Prabhupada was saying in the purport to 31. But we should not contemplate, because that's the first process. From contemplation will be lust, and then lust comes with the entire family, beginning with the brother, anger. And from there, it's downhill, all the way to falling down. So we should be careful, and we should pray that we can have the strong determination not to contemplate on the objects of the senses. And this can happen when you are in association with devotees. When you stay in the association of devotees, then they bring your mind back to devotional activities. They bring your mind back to activities that are supposed to cultivate self-realization, and you stay on track. If you're by yourself, your mind will wander unless you're very strong. So unless you are sure that I am very strong, I can stay by myself and chant and do devotional activities like Harirasa Kul, then please keep the association of the devotees. Come to Bhagavatam Sangha. Come to the temple for programs. Chant with devotees. Never chant alone. Even the Goswamis, they would be writing by themselves. They would sleep under different trees by themselves. I'm speaking of Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. But they regularly would meet together to chant together, especially to chant together and to hear from Raghunath Das Goswami, to hear together and to chant together. So association is very important. Otherwise, you're going to fall down. Your senses are not going to be able to restrain themselves. You're not going to be able to restrain yourself from this. So I think we have 13 minutes. Let me not speak so much. I'm going to end my monologue there. If there are any questions or comments from the devotees, they are very welcome.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for such an excellent class. Hare Krishna
Hare
Murli
Krishna.
Gopal. Can I just go ahead and ask a few questions? Thank you. Thank you, Murli Gopal. Mataji, so the brothers were Sanat, Sanatana, Sunandana, and which was the other one? Sanandana and?
Not Sunandana, Sanandana.
Sanatana.
Sunandana
Yeah,
is a brother of Nanda Maharaj.
Yeah, I said it wrong, but I've written it correctly. Sanandana, Sanat, Santa, Sanakana,
Sanatana and Sanaka.
Sanatana, and Sanaka. And Mataji, so even the Goswamis, the pictures that we see of Goswamis, they are not in saffron, but I'm assuming they are also sannyasis. So they are in there.
Yes, the Goswamis of Vrindavan are actually Babajis. They are not, they didn't take sannyas, like how the process of sannyas we have today. Sannyasis, they are given a danda and everything. They were sannyasis, or rather Goswamis, by character, by behavior, not just by formalities. Nowadays, we have so many sannyasis, so-called Goswamis, who are Goswamis by dress, by formality, but not by character and by qualification. Yeah. But they lived as mendicants, only wearing a coffin. You read the Sad Goswami Ashtakam. Srinivas Acharya describes the activities of the Goswamis very nicely. They gave up aristocracy and accepted the dress of a mendicant, only coffins. Yeah, and they are what is emulated by today's Babajis of Vrindavan or of the Gaudiya Vaishnav. But it was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur who reintroduced sannyas, the ashram of sannyas, into the Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya, because then people are going astray. Because the Babaji level is considered to be above Varnashram. So they don't follow any rules and regulations. They practice Raganuga Bhakti. But not everyone is qualified for spontaneous devotional service, Raganuga Bhakti. So then he brought down the system and introduced sannyas, because sannyas is within the Varna ashram. You know, the 4 ashrams: Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, sannyas. Babaji is above. That's actually called Paramahamsa stage. So they don't wear saffron, they wear white, or even no cloth also. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, I want to seek clarification of these various gates. So, is it true that the various gates are, the philosophical meaning is that they, when you get rid of one anartha, then you are at one gate. Then when you lose another anartha, then you are at the second gate. Is there something like that?
Well,
Like Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh,
anartha
Mad,
nivriti is
Matsya.
a long process. And you see, they are interconnected. Like you can see here, it's being said anger is a younger brother of lust. So it's a whole family. So you can't really get rid of one family member, and it's a they have a connection. So it's quite difficult to say that you get rid of one, you are at one. No, it's a good process to try and see which one I am less of and more of. This is called working on yourself. When you try and see, now at madness, where am I? But best is not, don't see it by yourself. Go to a person, a Siksha guru or a guru, who can really see you and help you to work on yourself by these qualities. Because we like to cheat ourselves. Human beings like to be cheated. Conditioned souls. If you want to believe, go to the movie theaters. Go see how much money people are paying for Netflix, movie box. I don't know if there is Xbox, what. All those stories, they are fabricated stories. And people will pay money, go there, sit, be cheated by a storyline that has been fabricated, and they feel happy. And they know they are being lied to, but still they'll cry and they laugh. And they'll pay money for it. Clear sign we like to be cheated, and we call it entertainment. So we like to cheat ourselves also. I'm so great, I'm so nice. I've done this, I've controlled this. Then ego comes in. That's why it's best you don't see by your own self. So you can't say that now I'm at gate 3 or I have controlled this and controlled this, because it's a whole family. They are all interconnected. By the time you are at number 4, number 1 is back to greet the brother. Yeah, so that's what I would say. That for only by association of guru can self-realization become perfected by realization of a sadhu. This is in Bhagavatam, Canto 3, 25, I think verse 19. 3, 25, 19. Glories of devotional service before the sadhu tattva starts. That only by association of a sadhu can perfection in self-realization be attained. So by our own self, we cannot do it. So one should look for that sadhu. Luckily, we are in ISKCON, we have Srila Prabhupada, and we have association of so many of his saintly disciples and glad disciples and upcoming devotees who can help us, who are either sadhus or on the way to be sadhus, and they'll make us sadhus. Then when we are sadhus, we have gone over all these gates.
And these four Kumaras were self-realized, but we also read that they believed in the Brahmajyoti of the Supreme Lord, and yet they are still self-realized. So did they not know that the Lord is a personality, or they just they knew that and then they were just worshipping the effulgence?
Yes, that's very good point. There's self-realization and there's God realization. So the Kumaras were self-realized, but they were not fully God realized. That's why they were going to Vaikuntha. to find out what's more than this. That's why they are Gyanis. They are not Bhaktas. Bhaktas, they seek God realization, and in God realization, self-realization is there. But the Gyanis, they seek self-realization. But attaining self-realization does not guarantee God realization. So the Kumaras were actually lucky. They wanted to know beyond the Brahman effulgence. So they went to Vaikuntha to see this personality of Godhead. Later on, we are going to hear what is going to happen to them. That while they are there, casting the four Kumara, the two brothers, Jai and Vijay, the smell of the tulsi from the lotus feet of Narayan is going to overwhelm them and is going to cleanse them. And then they'll become bhaktas. From Gyanis, they'll transform to bhaktas. That's why we chant with tulsi beads. That's why we wear tulsi beads on our necks. And that's why we worship Tulsi Devi. She can transform a gyan into vigyan. She can give us bhakti. Yeah, so they were not God realized, Krishna realized, or rather Vishnu realized. They had self-realization. Self-realization you can attain by Ashtanga Yoga. But for God realization, you have to come to the platform of bhakti. Does that answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, it does very well. And when you're self-realized, do you still see Paramatma that is seated in your heart?
When you're only self-realized, if you are lucky, you'll see. For those who practice Ashtanga Yoga, then they see the Paramatma, but not all get attracted to the Paramatma. Because the Paramatma is Vishnu himself. Kshirodaksha is Vishnu. So the Gyanis, these four Kumaras, must have been when they saw the Paramatma, then they were attracted. That's why they went all the way to Vaikuntha. Otherwise, many Gyanis, when they get to that point of self-realization, then because they are very clean in the heart, they can be able to see the Paramatma, but they don't get attracted, or rather they don't want to be attracted by the Paramatma. So they enter the Brahman effulgence. They don't go into the varietiness of beautiful Vaikuntha as it has been described.
And that explains why they didn't go to Golok Vrindavan, because they
No.
saw Paramatma and they saw the effulgence. So then they wanted to
Yes.
find out, this effulgence is coming from where? It's coming from
Yes.
Vaikuntha. So let's go to Vaikuntha. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Those who see the Paramatma, they go to Vaikuntha, not to Golok Vrindavan. They go to Vaikuntha. Yeah. There are
But before
different hierarchies of holy places. Again, nectar of instruction. This is 9. Vaikuntha. I'm forgetting the verse. I'll not quote. I'll just embarrass myself. But the hierarchy is that first is Vaikuntha, then Mathurapuri. Within Vaikuntha, Ayodhya and Dwarka are there. Dwarka and Ayodhya are within Vaikuntha, but higher than them is Mathura. Higher than Mathura is Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, highest is Govardhan, and in Govardhan, Radhakund is the highest. So devotees aim for that, for Vrindavan, especially Radhakund.
But you have to go through these various stages. You have to go to Vaikuntha, do service over
No,
there, then you'll be promoted.
No. You only go to Vaikuntha. If you go to Vaikuntha, you are there. You'll not get attracted to Mathura or to Vrindavan. It depends on your mood. You know, there are four types of moods: Dasya Ras, Santa Ras, Sakya Ras, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So if you only want to do Dasya, Vaikuntha is okay for you. You will serve in Vaikuntha. Then Santaras, Santaras, okay, you can be in any of the categories. But still, Santaras in Golok Vrindavan is higher than Santaras. Santaras, I mean neutrality in Vaikuntha. Because in Vaikuntha, it means maybe being a Shankha or Padma, lotus flower. While in Golok Vrindavan, you may be a kripa where the gopis walk on. So there are still gradations. Krishna consciousness is so deep, so deep. Yeah, and especially these varieties of destinations of the devotees, it's a whole other topic, which we can discuss on another day. Yeah.
Thank
Maybe
you,
we
Mataji.
can do a deep study of nectar of instruction. Then we'll go into all these details.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. I open it up to any other questions or comments. Sorry for taking for hogging up all the time for questions. Over to you, Murli Gopal. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for that wonderful question. And that's also they're also relevant to us. I see.
We can't hear you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Hare,
Hare
yes,
Krishna.
yes.
Yes, I see there's a text from Ishwari on the chat about anger. We are learning to view anger as a powerful spirit, as a powerful spiritual tool for our transformation and boundaries. How are we supposed to work with it when it is triggered by everyday mundane annoyances? I think because
Then, how to deal with anger when it's triggered on a daily basis. Then you should identify your trigger and stay away from them. Those who have asthma, Mataji is an immunologist here. They know sometimes asthma is triggered by allergies. So asthma patients are advised, if they want good health, they should avoid their triggers. What triggers their allergies? So if you know it's dust, if you know it's Murari Gopal who will give me trouble, just say Hare Krishna to him from far and walk away and do my other services. So avoid your triggers. If it's a devotee, because in devotee community we cannot really avoid these circumstances, keep your distance. But at the same time, pray to Krishna, pray to Guru to help you and to help that devotee who is your trigger also. Help, pray to Krishna to help. Devotees should have cordial relationships normally. But if that's not the case, avoid whatever the trigger is if it's happening on a daily basis. Then that way it will be easier for you to control your anger. Is that okay, Ishwari? You can show by thumb or up or down.
maybe before we end, Mataji, I had maybe some clarity. I mean, one question, one last one. We see the four Kumaras are very elevated and they are so close to Krishna and they become self-realized, but still they need to see the Lord for them to be bhaktas. They need that darshan to go and see where he is for that conviction, however much eager they are. And also, we also saw Arjuna, a very close ally of the Lord. But still, even after talking to the Lord, he still wanted to see him, his in His majesty as who He really is. And these are elevated devotees. I was just thinking, what about us who are not even close to their elevation? And I feel sometimes we just want some conviction like them to, something that will just a sign that is not very symbolic, most practical, like what they're looking for. To be like, yeah, now Krishna, this is it. Why is it that he tends to be a little bit far from us, and we really have to get into so many stages into faith and everything. It does not really help our conviction so much. I don't know.
Nice question. So you see, that's the nature of Gyan. The nature of Gyan, it needs clarification. The Kumaras were Gyanis, they needed the clarification. So they went all the way to Vaikuntha. But Krishna, or rather Vishnu, he has a different way of seeing it. He's saying that they want my darshan. So for us, we need to desire. One devotee asked Prabhupada, how can I become Krishna conscious? Prabhupada just gave one word answer, desire. Desire to be Krishna conscious. And usually it said deserve, and then Murari Gopal Prabhu, do you know that statement? Deserve and then desire. So that conviction will come if you really desire for it. That Krishna consciousness will come when you really desire for it. That association will come when you desire for it. And then you work on your way to deserve it. The Kumaras, they wanted to see Krishna. They had done their part. Arjuna was already Krishna's friend before Krishna could show his majesty. So he was deserving of it. If you are not deserving, don't bother to desire. But if you are desiring, then you have to work your way to make sure that you deserve it. Then Krishna can grant it. Now if you go to the supermarket right now and you say, I want that ice cream which is costing $5.90 without the money, even if you jump there, no one is going to give it to you. And if someone feels pity on you and buys it, it's because you have paid for it by jumping around there, throwing tantrums. So you have paid, you have deserved it in a way. You have touched their heart. So in the same way, we want to see Krishna, we want to have some conviction of him. We have to show him how that we a bit deserve it. And this is done by Gaur Govinda Maharaj says, you chant in a crying mood, in a mood of separation. Krandana, you chant while crying. Why am I so useless? Why have I been serving Maya? Therefore, give me your service, engage me in your service. You chant in this mood, it will bring you the qualification for the conviction and for the darshan of the Lord. I don't know if I have answered your question. Murari Gopal Prabhu? We can't hear you.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, thank you for the really clarified. I need to build on a way to deserve the Lord, then desire.
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, don't work so hard to see the Lord. Serve in such a way that He'll want to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guess we can end it here.
I don't know. And in Amgoro Mataji, are you able to end the session for us today? Hare Krishna.
Maybe she didn't hear her name. Nina Buru Mataji, are you able to end the session for today? Hare Krishna. Do we have any volunteers? Ritu Mataji, Chandni Mataji? Maybe I can end the session. I think they are all having challenges. Hare Krishna Mataji,
Peter.
thank you. Sorry?
Yes, please end. Yes,
Peter
yes.
Prabhu, please, somebody, can you end the session? Ritu Mataji is at work, so she can't end the session. So she apologizes. But Peter
Hare
Prabhu, I can end the session.
Yeah, I can end the session.
Okay, fine.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for this amazing class. We learned so much that we didn't know about. Thank you so much once again. So can we all unmute ourselves and chant the Hare Krishna mantra to glorify Her Grace Rasa Sundari Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Dev ki
Her
jai.
Grace Rasa Sundari Mataji ki jai.
Dev ki
Bhagavatam ki jai. All
Hare
glories to the Sundam devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Chandni Mataji, for ending the session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all.